Have you ever heard of a kangaroo court? Well, I don't know what, I'm gonna learn what a kangaroo court is here from this gentleman here, as Skipper.
They said it's exempt from a building permit. They said it's a second house, a citation. Then they did give me a citation for a trailer that is 100% legal. You know the law. He's not licensed to practice the law.
Wow,
that is a kangaroo court. The judge does not have, this fake judge does not have jurisdiction to hear these cases.
Hi everyone, this is Alexander Carlos with the Alexander News Show. And in front of me is former Miami-Dade County mayoral candidate, is Skipper Miguel Angel Quintero. And ladies and gentlemen, the viewers, not only in Miami-Dade, but the United States of America and worldwide, have you ever heard of a kangaroo court? Well, I don't know what, I'm gonna learn what a kangaroo court is here from this gentleman here, as Skipper. I'm gonna call you Skippin. A kangaroo court exists here in Miami-Dade County. Please explain. Welcome to the show, by the way.
Thank you.
And you can find us on all platforms of social media, Alexander News Show, and also on the podcast. This interview is gonna be all over the place. Please explain, sir, what is a kangaroo court? I don't even know what the hell that is. Please explain.
Well, thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Personally, thank you for being here. You coming out to my home.
Thank you. Oh, and by the way, bienvenido. Este es el show de Alexander Carlos, Alexander News Show. How do you say kangaroo court in Spanish?
I don't know. That one.
La corte de los Kangaroo, okay? De los animales. Vamos. This is bilingual, a little bilingual. Go.
A little bilingual. También te puedo hablar en español, pero prefiero hablar en inglés.
Vamos.
It's just going to be easier for me. Spanish is more of a second language for me. So, a lot of people in Miami-Dade County have heard that, well, we operate like a banana republic down here. It's almost like the rules are made up as you go. And involved in that is a kangaroo court. So you will hear a lot of residents here in Miami-Dade County talk about, man, this county's always had a kangaroo court. It's a fake court. And now, as far as I understand, I'm the first to bring a lawsuit to challenge this mayor's court. And the reason I call it a mayor's court is because essentially she's imposing fines through her administration, because it's an administrative hearing. She's imposing fines on homeowners, not just commercial property. And there's a big difference between, because it's all private property, but there's a big difference between commercial and then the homestead, the home. The home has a heightened sense of protection under the Constitution of the United States and under the Constitution of Florida. And for any violation lien, it is in the Constitution, that must go before an Article 5 court. Now, an Article 5 court is the judicial branch of the government. So the state of Florida has an executive branch, a legislative branch, and a judicial branch. Those are your three branches. Mm-hmm. We know this federally. We also have it in every state. Every state has its own constitution. Constitutions mostly mirror that of the federal constitution. And anything that imposes a lien or a fine must go to an Article 5 court, a state, especially if it's within that state, in this case, the state of Florida, an Article 5 court. Now, this lawsuit's already public information. It's already been filed. We have a motion calendar hearing on Thursday. The county did reach out to me a couple days ago, the county attorney, and who's representing this, which I can also get into how that's unethical, but whatever.
Please do.
We'll get into that a little bit later.
The viewers want to know.
But all of this has been filed, and it's a public record, so I can talk about this. I can't talk too much about it, because obviously they're watching, and there's always strategy. There are legal strategy. And although I myself, I am not an attorney, I am representing myself on this one, so it's pro se. Of course,
yes.
And I also have aspirations, as you mentioned, to be a lawmaker or a law enforcer, whether it's the executive branch, which I ran for the mayor, which is the executive branch, or the legislative branch, which is where I'm considering a run. I haven't announced yet, so right now all I can legally say is I'm considering a run. I'm not raising money. I'm not asking for money. Legally, I'm just strongly considering it. I'm going through the channels. We do have a good team put together. My campaign manager did run for governor of Florida. Campaign treasurer is was the mayor of Surfside. I'm not going to mention his name just yet.
Of course.
But mayor of Surfside, and he did run for mayor of Miami-Dade County as well. And you know who we're talking about.
Of course. I'm not going to mention his name.
Well, not yet, because he's on board, but not 100% on board.
Of course.
He isn't fully committed, where my campaign manager has. And then the team that we have about 5 or 6 local activists here for District 2. And it'll be for District 2 if I do announce, because I live in District 2 for Miami-Dade County. Yeah. Well, so they're in saying that I'll be a lawmaker. Yeah. And that's where really my heart is. But if I'm going to be a lawmaker, I better know the law. And because of everything that has happened to me here on this property and what we're going to talk about with this kangaroo court, I've decided to become a politician. And if I'm going to be a lawmaker, I better know the law. So I've spent the past 3 years studying hard the law. I don't want to be a licensed attorney. I don't want to work for the judicial branch. I don't want to represent other people in that branch. I want to represent other people in the legislative branch. And you don't need a law degree for that, even though most of these politicians tend to be lawyers.
You could be a practicing lawyer.
I am a practicing litigator, not lawyer. You can't say lawyer because lawyers represent other people's claims. I don't represent other people's claims in the third branch of government, the judicial branch. Now, what is a kangaroo court? That's a little background.
Let me ask you, this lawsuit, I'm going to mention something because I've had my experiences with this radical leftist 100-year-old Fidel Cava. I like to call her Fidel Cava, who is the most corrupt mayor that this county's ever had, the most radical leftist communist this town's ever had, and absolutely, definitely, 1,000% hates my guts because I've been on her, especially with this budget, $400 million in the red. She's attacked you personally because you have a home-based business. And this is the reason. And I want to ask you, in regards to this lawsuit, you're suing the county, Miami-Dade County, and a few people here. David ALAN SHERMAN, GERALDINE BONZON KEENAN, and of course, the full name of Mayor Cava, like it is in her license. Daniella Sarah Levine Cava, and I'll throw also known as Fidel Cava.
Yeah. So most people
don't Kangaroo
know.
Court.
Right.
What's this?
Most people don't know her middle name is actually Sarah. She did commit fraud, and we'll address that at another date. But she did commit fraud to be first on the ballot. Yeah. And she basically told the public that her middle name is Levine.
By the way, there's interviews I did have. We spoke about this in an interview. You can go on my YouTube channel and search under interviews section. The interview that I did when Mr. Quintero, Skipper, was running for mayor, we spoke about that. And I believe the evidence is there. You can go back and look at it, ladies and gentlemen. But I'm going to put this as well. We're going to put it out there again. Right. Go ahead.
So that'll be addressed at a later date where I do have a team. We do have big players in motion. We have big plans to make sure that this issue is addressed. And there is a good possibility that the governor of Florida will remove her from her office and replace her because she committed fraud. And it's there's evidence for it, but again, that'll be a whole separate lawsuit. We do have some things happening in the background to address that, and I'm glad that she's going to hear it. We addressed this once before, but let's get back to what.
Yeah, let's talk about this kangaroo court.
This kangaroo court in Miami-Dade County.
That they only, communist system that's going on here in Miami-Dade, and them attacking you because you have a home-based business.
So right,
legit one, by the way.
Yes, 100% legit by the state. The state did pass laws, but back to the kangaroo court, and we'll get into all of that. So this particular lawsuit is it revolves around citations to me and my home. This is my homestead residence. This is my home. And what code enforcement does, or what these guys do, is they'll come in and they'll take pictures, and they can do it from the public, and all of that is fine, but they can't do it without a bona fide complaint. And they did it without a bona fide complaint regarding the home-based business, and then the tree house, and various other things that I have here that I know that I can do by law. A treehouse is a playset. It's exempt from a building permit. They said it's a second house citation. Then they did give me a citation for a trailer that is 100% legal. They ended up dropping that at the hearing, this fake kangaroo court hearing. But long story short, it was retaliation because I called out the mayor for the way that she was collecting money from the homeowners and from the voters and from the residents of Miami-Dade County in an illegal way, because she has her own court. Now, the way the three branches work is the executive branch, they enforce the laws and they have administrations, and they can't have quasi-judicial hearings, which is legally binding courts that are not Article 5. Again, Article 5 courts in the Florida Constitution has to do with the judicial branch and how it operates and the powers that it has. Every court has to have jurisdiction, has to have power, has to have legitimate constitutional power. And if it's in a state statute, that is done under the powers of the Constitution. So that's legit. Any state statute is legit constitutional power. That's the jurisdiction in the legislature now, because the legislature writes the laws. And they're the ones who are directing the courts and even the executive branch. So that's your governor, because now we're talking state. The way the state works, your governor is the one who's going to enforce these laws. And then the judicial branch will interpret these laws, and they'll clarify what the legislature meant. Wow. But the legislature is the one who has the ultimate power. They're the ones who are directing kind of everything, which is a great system. It's the way it's supposed to work. America's the longest lasting form of government in history. You wouldn't think so, but it is because of this system. So it's a beautiful system. So back to the Article 5 courts and back to the Kangaroo court. So when you get citations at your home, which the Constitution protects, life, liberty, and property, and there's no greater sense of heightened sense of security to property than the home. The Constitution also says you should be free of government intrusion. So when you take all that into account and the mayor creates her own court or maintains her own court that does not have jurisdiction, and they're imposing fines and liens on your home, and they don't give you a chance to have your trial. Because what happens is the way the courts have interpreted, and it's the wrong interpretation, and I think we're going to win and we're going to fix things. The way, and the reason it is ripe, it's called ripe for I forget the word, but it's just justiciability. I can never say it, but it's ripe for justiciability, meaning it's ripe for the courts to hear it, right? Yeah. Because there's conflicting understandings even within the 3rd DCA, which is what is the appellate division, basically our mini Supreme Court for this area, the southern area of Florida. Of course. Or the 3rd DCA. They do Miami-Dade County, Monroe County. Even there was 2 opposing opinions on how these things should be addressed. But the reality is, if they're going to impose a fine on me, I want a disinterested judge. Meaning the judge doesn't care if I win, doesn't care if the county wins. The judge is disinterested. The judge is going to look at the facts and he's going to rule based on the facts. Now, what Miami-Dade County has done and what the mayor has done with her Kangaroo court is she hires unlicensed practicing law, people who are practicing law by being judges, fake judges in these quasi-judicial hearings that don't have jurisdiction. And that's where the evidence is heard, and that's where testimony is taken. That's where you can cross-examine and you have an opportunity to defend yourself. The problem with this Kangaroo court is the mayor herself hires these fake judges. Wow. And that's what makes it a Kangaroo court. So if you look up the definition of a Kangaroo court, essentially comes down to is a tribunal that has no jurisdiction. And it operates as it feels. It's the feeling court, and how they want the county to look. Damn be the Constitution and damn be the laws of the state of Florida. They're going to do it however they want to do it. And the way that they rule there is pretty much 100% the way it's going to outcome. Because even if you appeal it, then what the appellate division does, that's a real circuit court appellate division. What they do is they come in, they do what's called a PCA. So a PCA is per curiam affirmed, meaning they don't give an opinion. They just say, yeah, they did it the right way. We're good, PCA. They affirm the lower court's decision. But the problem is the lower court is a fake court. It is a Kangaroo court. The judge doesn't know the law. He's not licensed to practice the law. Wow, amazing. That is a Kangaroo court. The judge does not have, this fake judge does not have jurisdiction to hear these cases. And at the end of the day, they can do this. This Kangaroo court can happen, but what has to happen afterwards, if you don't like the decision, is you have to have a whole new trial de novo in the circuit court, in the trial court division, where now you can present evidence before a disinterested judge that has jurisdiction, and you get the right to a jury trial. Because anything that has to do with intent, anything that has to do with, it's called matter of fact, meaning we don't know what a swing set, the definition of a swing set is. Of course. A jury will decide that. Now, a judge can do it, but it's best when a jury does it, because a jury is going to be people who live in that community. That's your best option. They're the ones who should be deciding what questions of matter of fact are, which is why it's important when you have a criminal, because again, the Constitution guarantees protections or heightened protection to life. Well, in that case, the government can't just come in and kill you for nothing. They better have real reason to take your life. Liberty, there's your criminal court. With this Kangaroo court, the whole point is for all the residents of Miami-Dade County, they can come and, one, surveillance your home, because that's another lawsuit that I have pending. Yeah, or considering. And then there's the way that they adjudicate you and find you guilty is not in a real court with a disinterested judge. It's in their fake court within their own branch of government. That's a separation of powers issues now. They're usurping the power of the judicial branch and taking it for themselves, and that is unconstitutional, and they don't have the jurisdiction, which is mostly what this lawsuit's about. Now,
this is basically a Kangaroo court.
It's a Kangaroo court that Miami-Dade County...
You're suing them. You're suing Miami-Dade, not only for all the bad things that they've done to you because you have your business, but because they put you through the kangaroo court.
Correct.
That's it.
They
And they're
took
not
away
supposed to.
my
They're not supposed to have a
constitutional
kangaroo court.
Of course not.
They're
There's
not
no
supposed
jurisdiction. They can do it, but it doesn't have jurisdiction to impose a lien.
Okay.
Basically, what it would be is they
It's
have
unconstitutional.
It's 100% unconstitutional in that they impose a fine and a lien. What they can do is they can have this court, and now it could be a recommendation to a real trial court. But that's what I'm saying. It has to be de novo, meaning new. Everything has to be like first time.
Yeah.
Because, and now what they can do is like, well, look, judge, this is what was found in the quasi-judicial, quote unquote, quasi-judicial hearing. It doesn't have power to impose these fines. You have the power, but this is what we find. And then I can go and have a new hearing and say, this is what my argument is. I hear their argument. I'm gonna respond to that and tell you where they're wrong. And I have a way better shot, a fair shot at a true defense. Now, again, you get it with your, in criminal court, with your liberty. Also, the government can't kill you for no reason. That's a guaranteed protection, life. Yeah. And then you have property in the Constitution of Florida and the Constitution of the United States. And there's no more heightened protection of property than the home. That's why, of course, cops need a warrant. The government needs a warrant to come into your home and search it, because they go to a disinterested judge in the judicial branch and say, look, this is the information that we have. And the judge could be like, no. You got that information fraudulently. And there are federal courts where the Supreme Court has upheld, for instance, Toomey v. Ohio, where the mayor cannot have a mayor's court or a kangaroo court. They didn't say kangaroo court, but the mayor's court. I like calling it a kangaroo court because I grew up hearing about the kangaroo courts of Miami-Dade County.
So this happened in Ohio?
The biggest leading case, yes, it's Toomey v. Ohio.
It's very similar to this.
It's almost identical to this.
Okay.
Because it had to do with imposing a $50 fine for some type of violation. I can't remember if it was a home type violation or if like code enforcement, or if it was another civil, but I'm pretty sure it was had to do with
you
civil.
did your research.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And let me just ask you, has the county, led by the communist Fidel Cava, and I'm going to just say Fidel, I don't give a crap. And by the way, we are also on, I am with iHeart Podcast Network, by the way, I want to just throw that out there. Estamos con el skipper, haciendo esta entrevista, the Kangaroo Court, que está metiendo su. Have they done anything to you any further? When was the last time the county messed with you? Led by Fidel Cava. What's the last thing now?
Now they fear me.
Now they fear you.
Yeah, because now we are before a disinterested judge. They don't control they don't control this court. The judges are going to do their job. Yeah. And I have lost faith, don't get me wrong. I have lost faith in the judicial branch, but at the same time, I'm taking the perspective that the courts are not at trial here. Who's at trial is Miami-Dade County.
Yeah.
Sarah Levine Cava.
Led by Cava.
David ALAN SHERMAN, who is an assistant county attorney, and
GERALDINE Bonzon Keenan.
She is the county attorney. She is responsible for everything that happens in that office. She's the ones who were signing the pleadings or the briefs or the motions or whatever for her assistant county attorneys. She has to review it.
And they work for Cava, under Cava.
No, so the county attorney basically works for the county. So they work directly for...
Oh, no, they work for the commission, right?
They work for the Board of County Commissioners.
Okay, got it.
And they work for the mayor.
Okay.
They do work for both.
Okay.
So, in this particular case, the courts are not at trial here. Which, of course, they're going to try to make it that way. And I'm prepared for a lot of their strategy here. They've already tried to impose that strategy. So when I filed this, I paid a process server, somebody I don't know, a completely third party.
Oh yeah, let's talk about that.
Who is registered by the courts for that one job, to deliver complaints that have been filed through the clerk's office for the court, for complaint, an official complaint. Yeah. They deliver that to the defendants.
They called you a couple days ago. Who called you? Who called you in regards to that?
The county attorney, who has announced herself as the temporary, but really the initial attorneys for the defendants. I want to say offenders, but defendants. So they did call me, because what they did was, when I had the process server, who I paid $245 to do this, go and deliver it, I sent it to the mayor and Miami-Dade County, to the 29th floor, because the whole floor is the mayor's office.
Of course. With over 500,000 people that she has staffed.
Right. And then the 28th floor, the entire floor is for the county attorney's office.
Wow. Okay.
So all your county attorneys there, and you can imagine how big these floors are, because there's 80 plus county attorneys and one county attorney, but assistant county attorneys.
Crazy.
And they all work out of the 28th floor, including the two that are named Assistant County Attorney David Alan Sherman, and the County Attorney Geraldine Bonzon Keenan. And the 29th floor, well, that's the mayor's. So they made this excuse. They didn't accept service, which is 100% illegal and wrong. The courts have made that very clear, and I know that this judge, who I'm not mentioning the judge, I will tell you we'll put the case number on file there.
We don't need to mention it.
I have been before this judge before.
I can put the case number in for my viewers to see.
Yes. Okay. This is all public record.
This is public record, guys. If you want to, just go on Miami-Dade County Court site, and you can find it there.
And you can find the name of the judge on there.
This is stuff that they do in Cuba. This is where they do in North Korea, even Russia, where you go before a court judge who's not on your side and literally is basically one-sided. And that's basically what is a kangaroo court.
That's a kangaroo court.
It's a communist type system, dictatorship type system.
A lot of people take it that way because it's
well,
it's a system.
Basically that's what it is.
It's essentially what it is. Ultimately, is what it comes down to. Because how do communism and socialist governments work? Well, we all know how they work. The people at the top are never wrong, and it turns into a dictatorship.
It's your way or my highway type of deal. That's it. And they've attacked you because you are an innocent person, innocent man. You're just trying to make an honest living, and because you want to have your own business, which is a very unique business, by the way, you want to share real quick with the viewers. If you guys don't know, please share real quick, if you don't mind, what is it that, in short detail, what is it that your business is about?
So we do flying trapeze. I've already had a lot of students make a career out of this. I've trained them from zero. I put them on pro teams because I have relationships with many pro teams. We have one who is in Mystere with Cirque du Soleil in Las Vegas, which is the biggest stage for flying trapeze in the world.
Wow.
That's the show's been running for 20 plus years. And of course, fresh talent comes in, younger talent comes in, people retire, people move on, new talent comes in. One of my students auditioned and made it. And he got all of his initial training right here. And then I put him on a pro team because there comes to levels like now for you to get the remainder of your training, you must go and perform. You're ready to perform, no doubt. But to really hone it in, you got to get on the big stage. So I create careers. I give young people either a chance to have a hobby to work out or a career path.
Wow.
And for a lot of people, they just want to do it once.
Awesome.
But that's definitely what I have and what I've done.
And you're the only one in Miami-Dade.
We're the only one in Broward County, Miami-Dade County, or Monroe County that is offering this service.
Wow.
They shut this down. You're taking away people's abilities, not only for me to have a business, which the Constitution says I have the right to,
of course,
to enterprise.
Yeah,
I have a right
absolutely.
to make money. And it's not a right that can be taken away.
Again, that's just the kind of shit, excuse my French, that they do in Cuba.
That's exactly
They're doing
right.
it here, ladies and gentlemen, in Miami-Dade County, led by this communist Fidel Cava.
It all comes down to Daniella Levine Cava. She is a strong mayor.
Give me one more thing. Explícame una cosa mala que te hicieron a ti que llegó a este punto.
All right, so
una cosa mala.
This assistant county attorney, David Alan Sherman, was on the board that hires, terminates, fires, or disciplines the hearing officers in this fake mayor's court or kangaroo's court. We can call it either one. So David Alan Sherman was on the board. The day before my hearing, which was February 29, 2024, for the code enforcement violations, alleged infractions, the day before, he removed himself from that board that hires, fires. So now he's showing intent because he wanted to prosecute me himself. He wanted to guarantee that I was going to lose no matter what, because the law was on my side. That's why my first code enforcement hearing before this kangaroo court, I won. Because I had the county attorney wasn't there, who hires and fires these fake judges. Of
course.
They had RER, which is your code enforcement, your building, your zoning, all that. They have their own attorney. That woman's name is Ingrid Castillo. She's a licensed attorney, has a Florida bar. She was there. Wow. She's the one who's supposed to adjudicate or litigate these things. But the county attorney stepped in. Now, Miami-Dade County ordinance says the county attorney is to be general counsel to the hearing officer, because the hearing officers aren't real attorneys. Now, all judges have some type of counsel, but at the end of the day, the judge is a judge. He can practice law and he can do what he wants to do in that court, and that can be appealed or held up. But this guy has no authority, so the county attorney is supposed to tell him, hey, this is the way you're supposed to do things for due process purposes. This is what's going to hold up in court. So this guy litigated against me. And even though the law was on my side, I was still found guilty because obviously the guy's boss is sitting right there. Now, the hearing officer, Peter Cochalacos, doesn't know that David Alan Sherman is no longer on the board. unless they had ex parte communication. Well, that's illegal as well. It's all kinds of stuff that's happening. But the point is, this guy, David Alan Sherman, who is senior, he's about 55 years old. He's a supervisor, senior position in the county attorney's office. He's been there for a very long time. He was a prosecutor for Miami-Dade County.
Wow. He probably makes about $1 million a year.
He makes $297,000 last year. He made $297,000.
Nice salary, yeah.
But you got to remember, the benefits are always. He actually makes 1.5 that.
And by the way,
the benefits is always half.
He works for you.
Of that.
He works for you. You're his
right, but he won't.
You're
say
his
that
boss.
Way. Well, that's not the way it's seen, and that will be for another interview when I decide to run for office. That's exactly my messaging.
Yeah.
But no, he does not work for the people.
So all this is, you're not the only one. So everybody that has a code violation, you're not the only one. There's a lot of people that have businesses that this is happening to them. Literally, the county, led by this communist leftist, decides, you know what, we're going to do a kangaroo court. Has the kangaroo court always existed, by the way? Has it always existed or no? This type of crap that's going on. Has it always been? As
far as I understand, the thing is, in my opinion, yes.
Okay.
But not to this level.
It's really bad on the
because now it's happening to me. So now I know about this case, and I know about recent cases from my neighbors.
Okay. So it's actually worse now because of Cava.
To me, it doesn't matter if it's worse. It doesn't matter if she started it. It's the point that she's continuing it.
Okay, got it. Yes.
That's where the lawsuit comes in. Is you're allowing this to happen, and Cava is Sarah Cava is an attorney. She went to
yeah, she is.
I believe she went to Columbia.
Yes.
I believe it's Columbia University.
She is
for
an attorney.
Her law school.
Yes.
She is an attorney, and she knows better.
Yes.
And I will tell you this: I have done this research. Since she took office in 2020, there were about 17,000 outstanding code enforcement violations. As it stands right now, year to date, it's over 35,000.
Wow.
She has doubled, and I'm talking about 17,000 that goes back to the 1950s, 60s. People just don't deal with it. Because again, even if the system were in place, it's never really been enforceable because it's a kangaroo court, which is why I grew up hearing about kangaroo courts. The point is now they're trying to enforce it.
Yeah.
And I can go into this whole thing about there's an attorney that's going around to all the municipalities in Florida telling them you got to start enforcing these things. These people owe the people money, but it's a fake court. It has no jurisdiction.
What's one of the illegal violations that, in the eyes of these people, that I call them fake cops?
Yeah.
Representing
code enforcement,
Cava, they come in here. What's one of the things they found that was totally that they're accusing you of?
Right here, right behind you. Right here, we have a swing set and above ground trampoline. The function is we swing through the air with the greatest of ease. And then we bounce on the trampoline and we do tricks on the trampoline.
What's wrong with that? There's nothing wrong with that.
Well, here's what's great. This is exempt from a building permit. It's literally by name exempt in the state of Florida. Laws exempt from a building permit. Swing sets and above ground trampoline primarily used for the residents. This is my residence. I primarily use it for me.
Yeah.
But then the state of Florida also came out in 2021 and says, and anything that you use in your residence, you can use for your home-based business.
But the kangaroo court, led by the communist leftist Cava, doesn't agree with you. They don't want you to have this.
They don't care about the Constitution of Florida. Yeah. They will deny. They will.
¿Qué cosa más grande? ¿Qué cosa más increíble?
And what they're doing is they're taking advantage of newcomers, people who came here even in the 50s and 60s, like my parents from Cuba.
Yeah.
They're taking advantage of them because they don't have, they've come here with fear of the government. So they instantly just fear the government. Now, a lot of them, like myself, we have assimilated and we're like, we're not afraid of the government.
Yeah.
We will maintain that the people have the power in this United States of America. And Miami-Dade County does not want that. That's a socialist agenda where the government has full reign on how you are going to live your life. And what happens when that goes on is now you have this pendulum, this political pendulum swinging. So why is Trump doing what he's doing? Because Biden did what he did. Biden went straight out and said, open the floodgates, let everybody in, and we don't even care if they're criminals. We don't care if they're mentally insane. And that's a very few number, a very small percentage, I would say a percentage of those people that came in, but that ruined it for all the good ones, which is the vast majority of immigrants who come to this country seeking an opportunity,
and there are some good immigrants.
To work. The vast majority of immigrants are great.
They work hard, they pay taxes and
our parents, and look how we are involved in this political process. Look how our education how we have assimilated into this great culture of this government and the system that this experiment that we celebrate every year, July 4th. We celebrate our birth. We celebrate our system of government.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, I totally agree with you. This is the land of the free. That's what they call it, the land of the free.
Not in Miami-Dade County.
Miami-Dade is a third world country with a fourth world infrastructure, by the way. But let's talk about the other lawsuits. Can you share real quick, where we got very little time left, but
so
talk to me about the other lawsuits that you are working on. Please go into details.
So I do have a lawsuit in federal court, and I'll send you the case number for that. You'll need a PACER account for that one. I do have an attorney on that one. And it essentially has to do with Miami-Dade County coming onto the property and taking and searching my property without a warrant. It's an illegal search.
Okay.
It also has to do because I am a journalist myself. I'm not practicing. I dabble in journalism.
Of course, yeah.
I did write for the Miami Herald right out of college.
Of course.
For a very short time, but it's a
You are a journalist.
People don't realize how difficult it is to be a journalist. You don't make money until you have an audience.
No, you don't. Very little.
And it's very little. And you can go a decade struggling, making $25 a story, you know, after you put 25 hours into the story or more.
And it's even worse when you work for a media company. That's why I work for myself. It's a lot better. It's freedom.
Right.
That's why we can say whatever the hell we want in here. I can say whatever I want.
Yeah.
So,
and in my case, I had an editor, and my words were always changed.
So this lawsuit is because of an illegal seizure.
They searched the property illegally.
Who
and then
searched? Miami-Dade Code Enforcement.
Code Enforcement,
Okay.
correct. A woman named Nicole Lopez.
Okay.
And they're also doing, for everybody, they're doing aerial surveillance on everybody's property.
Wow.
And the property appraiser is allowed to do this to establish the value of your home.
They are.
Because they're not imposing any type of enforcement action. So by law, they're allowed to use drone technology.
Of course, or helicopters or whatever.
Right, whether it be satellite, because satellites are drones. They define drones, so there's a statute, 934.50.
Got it.
Statute, chapter 934 has to do with surveillance, and 934.50 has to do specifically with aerial surveillance, and they call it the Drone Act. Now, in this statute, they define what is a drone. Well, satellites meet that definition. So when the county goes onto the property appraiser's office or Google Map, and they start saying, oh, look, he didn't pull a permit for this, that's new compared to this year, that is government intrusion. That is the government surveillancing you. They can see you, they follow a pattern. They can look into history. And then they say, no, we're allowed to because it's the public can see it, yes. But even though the public can see it and the property appraiser can use it, the Constitution of the United States still binds the government to a higher sense of responsibility in that we get to be free of intrusion. Now, if a neighbor complains, now you can come out in public, and if you see the violation out in public because of a bona fide complaint, which is in the law, now you can investigate it, and you can go to a judge and say, Judge, we would like to use the images from, we would like to pull a warrant so we can use the images for aerial against these people because this is the proof that we have. This is the probable cause. And then a judge will sign off and say, boom, you can use it. But they just bypass warrants. They don't care about warrants. Yeah. They won't get a warrant. They want to bypass the judicial branch.
Crazy.
Because that's how you have power.
This is how Miami-Dade County works, like that under Cava. What's the other lawsuits?
So the attorney that I had that was representing me on this case is now a code enforcement magistrate, which is called a city judge, or it's called you can call him county judge for Broward County. He works out of Fort Lauderdale, a guy named Michael Garcia. This is public record as well. That one I can name. Because it's the same thing as this. It's all public record. It's been filed. He's been served. He accepted service. He knew better. So he accepted service. He's been served. He's got 20 days to respond. This was last week. This one was done about a month ago. That
attorney screwed you over.
He screwed me over, and I can't prove why. All I can prove is that he breached contract. Breach of contract.
Wow, unbelievable.
Breach of fiduciary duty.
You can't trust attorneys anymore.
Right. And there's another claim in there. There's 3 strong claims in that one, and then I have to prove it.
Okay.
Which is what trial's for.
We can get the. You can send me the case numbers later.
These are state claims. Whenever you see Miami-Dade County or something that looks like this, where it says Circuit Civil Division in the Circuit Court of the 11th Judicial Circuit of Miami-Dade County, you can get that. You can get all this information just by punching in the case number.
And is there another lawsuit?
So real quick, just to finish off, Michael Garcia, the attorney, who's now a judge, and he actually is an Article 5 judge.
We're talking about this Kangaroo court. No,
this is the Kangaroo court. So the guy,
let's get back to this part.
Right. So I'm doing this pro se. The reason I'm suing my previous attorney is this is exactly what he was supposed to protect me from.
Okay, got it. So it's connected with this. He was supposed to help you with this.
The day before my hearing, he didn't show up.
Okay.
And then he tells me, look, you know what you're doing. You've been studying this. We've talked about it. Go in there. You're going to lose anyway. That's what he told me. And I believed him. I was like, okay. He goes, treat it like a deposition. Just go in there and ask as many questions. My hearing was 8 hours long, and I could have turned it into the next day. I was like, I got enough here to move this on because I knew I was going to lose as well.
Got it.
Because it's a kangaroo court.
Yeah, of course.
Of course you're going to lose.
He was supposed to represent you and help you with that.
He was supposed to represent me. The day before, he said, listen, I'm not going to make it. Just go in there and do it.
Did you lose money with that lawyer, with that attorney?
I paid that lawyer roughly $20,000, but overall, it all cost him about $25,000.
Wow.
And he did nothing for me.
Wow.
Nothing. He did zero. He just took my money. And then when I told him that the county attorney litigated against me, he goes, oh, he can't do that. Good. Let's use that for our defense before the real court, which where it goes from there, it goes to the appellate division. That is a problem.
Yeah. Are you going to notify the Florida bar in regards to this little attorney?
Yes.
Okay.
But believe it or not, I'm doing him a favor because a lawsuit against the attorney is much more preferred than a bar complaint. Because a bar complaint, they will go before the Florida Supreme Court. Where in a lawsuit, he may come out and say, to disbar him.
Yeah.
Where a lawsuit, he could just say, what do you want to make it go away? Yeah. I'll say, all right, give me $1 million. We'll be whole. Yeah. And he'll say, here's $1 million. Done, gone. Now he never has to worry about this case ever again.
So you suing that lawyer is connected to this. And then you got the lawsuit, the other one where it's
in federal court
for illegal spying.
Correct. The government was surveillancing my property and came and searched and took pictures.
Illegal search.
Illegal search.
And then
there's a few other things in that lawsuit.
And there's another lawsuit, right? Another one? Talk about
I just had one that was this that had to do with this attorney that I'm suing, not this one. The attorney I'm suing, it was dismissed without prejudice because he's no longer my attorney. This was last week. We went to a FWAP, it's called a FWAP hearing. And we would have kept that lawsuit alive, but because this attorney's no longer on it, the judge was like, look, I'll dismiss it without prejudice. Like, I'm good with that. Because he botched it anyway. Yeah. Completely botched it. Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. It's in perspective, like I'm gonna bring that one back. But there was 5 in total. Now it's 4 because one is on standby, basically dismissed without prejudice. So we have the one against Michael, we have the one against the county.
Yeah.
And there's another one, that's right. So Daniella Levine Cava is named on it. And then there's another one that has to do with my nickname.
Okay, yes.
That one was against Christina White, the supervisor of election.
Yeah, exactly. She's no longer around.
Right.
No longer.
That one has to do with, and now it's Elena Garcia, I believe is her name. She's the elected Republican supervisor of elections.
Okay.
She was able, it's a constitutional position, she was able to run as a Republican where commissioners and mayors can't run as partisan. It's not a constitutional position, meaning the governor can fire for no, even without cause.
Yeah.
With municipalities, he needs cause. But
you think Alina could help you with that? Alina Garcia?
Alina can help a little bit, but really it comes down to the state. So the person who took my nickname off of the ballot is Cord Bird. And I don't have malice towards Cord Bird. I think he did it from his perspective for a reason. And I understand that because I put El Skipper. Skipper is my nickname, but because I was running for mayor in a county, which is the only county, where the majority of the people prefer to speak Spanish. In Spanish, you can't say skipper, sneaker, spy. You can't say that without putting a vowel before the S.
Yeah.
So people started saying, skipper, you know, el skipper, tú eres el skipper. So it morphed into a skipper, so that's what I put on the ballot, Spanish speakers. And I tried to explain that, whatever, but he never gave me the chance to explain it. The first time he heard that argument was in court. Now, I want to just cancel that. I want to withdraw that lawsuit because I don't think he did anything maliciously wrong. Now, the only thing I did ask of them, Cord Bird, is I don't think there was, I don't think it was malicious. But I'm asking him now through motions, which I haven't filed for a motion calendar, which is where a judge would say, hey, what are you going to do about this? On this motion, I filed a motion, but it's just sitting there. But basically, that's me telling him, listen, I'll make all this go away. I don't necessarily want this lawsuit. Just show me that your intent is good. How do you prove that? Because if your intent's not malice, if it wasn't racially based, then I have no problems with it. How are you going to show me intent? Give me a 15-minute meeting privately so that you don't have to worry about what you say or how the public's going to view what you say, because we never know how the public's going to view what we say. Now, if you're a politician, you don't have that right. You can go into private meetings and have like more matter-of-fact discussions, and you can actually. A lot of politicians curse, lawyers curse like sailors, man. Yeah. So Skipper works great for me because now I'm a politician, and I'm like them. I'm not going to lie to you. Yeah. In private, I curse like a sailor. You know, it's a thing.
So do I. Yeah.
You know, I mean, we're adults. You know, but particularly lawyers.
Well, I can't say you got kids here, so but you know, this is unedited. This is non-filtered, guys. I don't do the little Special Olympics that you can't say bad words type of deal. But this is
the whole point is,
you know, But anyway.
I just want him to feel free. And he doesn't have to say a word.
You just want to talk to
Just
him.
let me give my
15 minutes.
perspective.
Give him some, yeah.
And I'll drop it. You give me 15 minutes, even if you disagree with what I'm saying, as long as you've heard it, you'll have an opportunity to process it further down the road. Because he's going to grow.
And then make a decision.
Right, because he himself is, he's Secretary of State, but he's in the public eye. He works for the public. Just what I'm saying, and you can filter it throughout the years, throughout your service to the community.
Of course.
Because Miami-Dade County is very unique in this. We are one of the most powerful counties in this country.
Yes.
We have more money than other states, and we're a county, one of 66.
Which, by the way, and unfortunately we don't have enough time because we got to get going, but we were going to discuss the budget, which is $400 million in the red. Miami-Dade County blew up by $3 billion, because it was like $10 billion before Cava got in. Now it's $13 billion, but that's we're gonna leave the budget for another interview.
Yeah.
You are going to run maybe for a political office.
Considering a run for District 2 Commissioner, yes.
We're not announcing it, but there's something you're considering. Ladies and gentlemen, todo el mundo, los viewers of Alexander News Show, este es el skipper, Mr. Miguel Quintero, okay? Él corrió para alcalde de Miami-Dade County. And by the way, este video lo voy a editar y va a ir en toda la plataforma de Alexander News Show, incluyendo los podcasts. So basically, I appreciate you coming on the Alexander News Show, discussing your fight against the communists and the rest of the county of Miami-Dade County, I don't know, I want to say a very nice name about them, the pieces of trash that are working under Cava, targeting you.
To me, I hold that these are some of the most evil people, more evil.
Trying to screw you, because if they're doing it to you, they're doing it to a whole bunch of...
They're doing it to everybody, and that's what makes them evil.
Yeah.
And they know better. These are great attorneys, but that's the problem with great attorneys. They know how to play in the gray, and they know how to steal money so that they can make more money.
So if you want to know what a kangaroo court is, now you know. Si sabe lo que es. I'm sorry, let me say that again. If you didn't know what a kangaroo court is, now you know. It's basically communist-style trial, okay?
They make it up as they go.
Esta es la corte de los comunistas. Aquí. Está pasando en Miami-Dade County. Hey, Mr. Skipper, thank you for appearing on the Alexander News Show with iHeart Podcast Network and of course, Alexander News Show on all platforms. Gracias por estar en el show de Alexander News Show.